Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Shots from the Bench. It's only sports talk, and of course, all opinions are both fabulous and flawed. I'm Bob Wiltman. My partner is Bob Murphy. Greg Malinzuk's producing the show. He's behind the scene, running the cameras, keeping sanity, and trying to get some free drinks for us, actually with very, very little success up to this point.
That's right.
We are here at beautiful Gator's Dockside in the beautiful downtown Brownwood section of the Villages. Gator's Dockside, where they have the tastiest sports in town. We're here every Tuesday night. Tonight's Wednesday night. This is a special once-in-a-lifetime chance for you to come and see us. So come on down and see us on Wednesday night. But we're here every Tuesday, 6 to 7. So come on down, in, out, around, however you get down here, and come check us out. We have lots of good sports talk, plenty of good trivia, and the food, like I said, is to die for. It's fantastic. And if you haven't got the time to come in and visit us, you can find us at shotsfromthebench.com, so you can check us out there. So, partner, let's get right to the what everybody's been waiting for. Steph Curry, LeBron. Take your pick. What do you think?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, that's your choice.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking NBA. Let's do that.
We're
first of
talking
all, did
NBA.
you have a nice holiday?
I had a wonderful holiday. Thanks
Yeah?
so much.
Yeah, that was good. I played a little golf, went to the beach, had a little picnic. Those are the three things I like to do when I have 3 days.
Wait a minute, that sounds better than mine. What happened?
Really? I'm sorry about that. I should have invited you to some one of those things I went
Yeah.
to. But anyway, so yeah.
You did the radio show with me Saturday. So
That's right. You
I
did
did
a
the radio show with
That's
our
right.
producer. I should have gotten some kind of free drink for
That's
that. I
right.
didn't get that either.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You sounded good on the radio too.
Well, how about that?
You look better on the radio too. By the way.
Got a face for radio.
That's right.
I want to hear what you think about Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors is what I want to know.
Well, I'll tell you. There's no better shooting team in the NBA than the Warriors. When you watched OKC play against them, they had to do more. They're not as good as a shooting team. They're just not.
No.
And they were good defensively, as good as you get. And they couldn't stop Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and you know all the other players on the team. Even guys like what's that big guy?
Oh, no, that's
Speaks.
not. Big. Oh, geez.
Maurice Speaks.
Maurice Speaks.
He was hitting 3-pointers. I mean, even he hits them. It's contagious, and you can't stop this team. You just can't stop. I looked for the Warriors to win in 6, and I'm being generous. I think.
I was going to say, they're getting stopped a couple of times. You think they're going to go 6?
Well, I think when they get to Cleveland, the crowd will
gonna
be
be
crazy
tough.
and so forth and so on. But I'll just say 6
Well, my heart's
at the
with-
most.
Being from Pittsburgh, I used to have
Yep.
friends take me to Cleveland. I used to love to watch the Cavaliers play, and I think they're going to lose in 5.
Well, these two teams.
And
yeah,
I'm
okay,
believe me,
well,
I'm
5 or 6, whatever.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Sure.
I think Golden State
Yeah.
is that vastly superior.
Right. Well, you know, these are the two top. Excuse me.
since you two guys picked
Yeah. OKC.
Golden State,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with Cleveland.
He's going with Cleveland.
Well,
okay.
that's the same guy that picked the Thunder.
That's right. That's
He
right.
always sticks his head in when he's not welcome.
Yeah, but Murphy jinxed me by switching.
That's right. All right. I won't do that again. I promise.
Whoever that guy was.
But
Yeah.
hey, these are the two top teams in the NBA in
That's-
3-point shooting.
that's
Okay. Having
yeah.
said that, now but they're way ahead of the Cavs in 3-point shooting, but they're still the top two. But the thing that hurts, I think that the Golden State is a more deeper team. They can bring in, Ivan Gala off the bench.
Oh, yeah,
They can bring,
I agree with you.
They have better defenders all around. All around, they're a better defensive team. That's what hurts Cleveland. LeBron James driving the ball to the hoop, it was the same thing as Russell Westbrook driving to the hoop. Eventually, you're going to tire yourself out. You're going to win. You'll be good in the first few quarters and in the first few games, and then you're going to knock yourself out. And that's what happened. That's what happened against them last year when they played. So I just think that Cleveland is the team that has to figure out Golden State and not the other way around.
I agree.
You know what I mean? They have to figure out how to stop those 3-point shooters, and how they can. Like I said, LeBron scores on a 2-point basket. They come back at a 3-point basket.
I agree.
I mean that, and it just keeps over, and you know what? And then they can score 9 points in a few seconds. When you get tired and beat up late in the game, all of a sudden, bing, boom, boom, it's all over. That's what happens with this team.
Well, you're right. You know, somebody did the math for me because I'm not smart enough to do it myself, but it's right. If Cleveland takes 23 shots and makes 20 of them,
Right.
they score 40 points. If Golden State shoots 23 shots and makes only 13 of them, they got 39 points. I mean, it's just.
They're just so many three-pointers.
The math is incredible.
It comes from everybody. Everybody on that team had some. And you know what? Overall, Golden State's a better defensive team as well.
Oh, there's no question in my mind. You're right.
So, I mean, Cleveland's got their work cut out for them. They really do. That's why, the odds are that there's 75% chance that Golden State will win this series. 75%.
All right.
Those are the odds.
I believe it.
And that makes sense. So, LeBron, if you're going to bring a championship to Cleveland, you've got a lot of work to do. And he's the guy to do it. He's the only one that could possibly do it.
But I'll tell you what, is there a better shooting second guard in the NBA than that Thompson?
Oh, my God.
My gosh, can he light it up?
I mean, I've never seen shot after shot after shot between Curry and Thompson with guys in your face. You don't even. I mean, it's not. You're not even.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You're hardly
if
even
you're in
looking
their
at the
face.
basket. It just
They both
goes.
get rid of the ball so.
It doesn't matter how far out
so
it is.
quickly.
Doesn't matter who's on you.
They just hit. They're
it's
just incredible.
How can you root against that?
Well, I don't root against. Like I said, I'm
wrong with you?
secretly rooting for LeBron, and I think LeBron's a talent, but I just don't think that they're quite in this category.
Now that we jinxed
I was
the
just going
Cavaliers,
to say, since every other
they'll
team I
probably
ever
win.
picked to win any of the championships went down in a ball of flames, I probably ruined Golden State's opportunity to win this. So that's fine. But be that as it may, we can segue off the NBA.
Before we do, there's a lot of teams already lining up for Kevin Durant's services this offseason, by the way. Including the Knicks, which they're not going to get.
I was going to say, well, he's going to have his pick. Well, who do you think? Because I have my thoughts on. I'm actually leaning towards Golden State. I mean San Antonio. I'm sorry. I think.
Well, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. With Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Being pretty much his last go-around.
And that Leonard.
He fits right into that team perfectly.
Leonard's a major talent, so he's not taking any steps backwards in terms, So.
Even if he goes there, you still got to beat the Warriors with the three-point barrage.
Yeah, well, you're right.
You got to get some three-point shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you put a team together like that? I mean, Thompson and Curry are unbelievable. There's no two guys that can shoot like that. You can have three-point shooters, but guys that shoot like that are
They may have one
unbelievable.
bad game once in a while, but I mean, to be down 3-1 against a very good opponent and just come back and with their backs against the wall play their best basketball and then sort of coast into the final. I mean, I'm just impressed.
How many times do you watch them make a shot and you just shake your head? You just can't believe
you're
it.
amazed. Yeah, that's.
I mean, other guys can make three-pointers and you go, okay. But when they hit theirs, it's just there's no way they can make that shot.
Well, the thing is, it's coming.
Yeah.
And you say, well, they're going to stop it, and they can't stop it. Yeah.
You can't stop
That's
it. So the Cavaliers got Shumpert. He's a pretty good wing defender.
Yeah.
They got J.R. Smith, pretty good wing defender. But where they're hurting is Kyrie Irving. He's not a great defender, and neither is Kevin Love with Draymond Green to have to guard down in the box.
I think that's going to be a real challenge.
So they're going to have to when Cleveland brings in some defensive players, they're going to be hurt offensively.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's where the tip goes, So that's what we're thinking.
Getting back to Durant though. Here's your prize.
Right.
Arguably the best player, as good as anybody in the NBA, and he's going to have his choice. The Lakers? I don't know.
No. Durant's not going to go to a team that's rebuilding. He's not going to Lakers.
Will
or
he
the
stay
Knicks
with? Will he stay with Oak City?
He might. He might stay there. That's a good choice. I mean, obviously they're a good team, and he's used to playing with them. Miami's another possibility to go down there and play with Dwayne Wade for a couple more years.
Wade's got another year.
Dragic and all them guys down there. I mean, you have because they may be losing Whiteside to free agency. So, again, I don't think that's where he's going to wind up going. I think he's going to – San Antonio seems like the best bet to me.
Well, it's just it'll be interesting
or
to
stay,
see.
stay where he is.
Yeah. Well, so, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, you say Whiteside. There's a couple other really good free agents out there, but Durant's going to dwarf everybody in terms
Oh,
of
absolutely.
because he's going to make somebody instantly a real contender.
You saw in that series when when players like Durant or LeBron James try to will their way through guys instead of passing. When things aren't going their way, they try to will their way. All of a sudden, they're losing the ball. They're not handling it as well as they normally do in the flow of the offense.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they start making a lot more mistakes, and they start getting more tired, and they start getting more depressed, more down. You see that happen a lot. LeBron and Durant are very similar in that way. When they're in the flow of the offense and it's wide open, anything goes. But when they start to, when they're trying to make things happen on their own, is when they just get too tired too quick.
Well, I think everything you're saying is right on the money, and it will be interesting to. I want to see how the Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love how they support, and then I want to see how the rest of the Warriors, like you said, Draymond Green. I think the stars are going to be the stars, but there's some matchups of some pretty good talented players in between there. I'll just be curious to see what goes on.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, Cleveland can if they play they have to play the perfect game against them almost every night, and they're capable. They've been playing. I mean, they played unbelievable in the playoffs against Eastern competition, by the way.
I agree.
But still, they played great. I mean, you have to give their hats off to them. They've earned their right to be here, and they're the best challenger right now for the Warriors. So we'll see. It's going to be hopefully it'll be a good series.
Well,
better than what we're saying.
I think it's something everybody's been looking forward to. I'll tell you what, we're already down to the end of the first quarter here at Shots from the Bench at Gators Dockside in Brownwood. So Bob Murphy and I will be back with the second quarter right after this. Now it's baseball time.
Baseball.
We are back with the second quarter of Shots from the Bench here from Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, we have the tastiest sports in town. And partner, the second quarter can only mean one thing. It's baseball time. So I've got a list of things I want to talk about. What's on your
Why
card
don't
to
you go
get
ahead
started?
and start?
Well, I'll get started. I want to talk about the star power and how they got a lot of guys on the DL. I have the DH. That's not what they are on. They're not on the doubleheader. They're on the disabled list.
We'd rather be the DH.
But you got the Washington Nationals. Brian Harper looks like he's Bryce Harper. I don't even know the guy's names.
I'll help you out with that.
I'm nervous, but he's on the list. Felix Hernandez is on the list. Marlon. Oh, by the way, let's hear it from Marlon Byrd, who at the age of 38 has to put a whole year suspension in for failing his third drug policy. I guess when he feels like in the at the end of his career he had to juice up a little bit, but that's a shame to play 16 years in a league and then all of a sudden get caught doping. But I feel bad for him. I think Yosefa Puig from the Dodgers is going to the DL. And,
what a shame.
How about Mookie Betts hitting 3 homers for the Boston Red Sox yesterday?
Yeah.
You know what? The Red Sox
Red
continue
Sox.
to impress the heck out of me. They got nothing but good young players.
Is Xavier Bogart still have a hitting streak going?
He still has his hitting streak
What has
going.
he got, 24 now?
He's at 25, I believe.
25?
And Jackie and Bradley actually only got 2 at-bats when he
leads the league, the American League in batting as well.
Yeah.
Bogarts.
These guys, and there's more young players. They got that Shaw. They got. They put it all together. If they
they're pitching,
they're
with David Price.
They're one pitcher away. Price is.
They got Price's 7 wins, and Porcello's got 7 wins.
Porcello and Wright, their knuckleballers doing well, but they're not getting much out of Buchholz and.
When you got 2 7-game winners, it kind of helps if you're faulty a little bit.
That's exactly
in a couple
right.
other areas, it keeps you in the hunt, anyways.
You're exactly right.
In first place, so.
But
we thought they would be in first place, by the way, when Price came over.
I really did too, and Price has, I think, been better than I expected.
Sure.
No, certainly,
Well, he's
He,
always had that potential to have
yeah.
that kind of season again.
You're right. No, there's no question. But he sometimes goes south for a little bit, but obviously I think he's had his bad spell. He got it straightened out, and he's playing some really good baseball. But like I said, there's a lot of stars on the bench. Something that for you Toronto fans to be happy about is they got Jason Grilli from the Atlanta Braves. That's going to shore up the bullpen. Now, always nice to add a 5.91 ERA to bring him.
Has some good players to trade away. Is that what they had?
5.9 ERA.
Oh,
You
wow.
can't beat that.
Boy.
I'd go for him if I was Toronto.
I'd be
Good
excited
grief.
about that.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
anyway, in the American League East, we're
yeah.
talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Baltimore has slipped a little. They've been in first
They-
all year, since out of the gate.
Yeah.
Now they're 2 or 3 games back.
They're coming a little bit down to earth.
You know.
You're right. You're right.
And Toronto is kind of picking it up a little bit. They've won like 7 or 8 out of their last
They have
10,
a
11.
they have a good lineup.
Right when we thought they would be. So
Their
they're
sticks
moving up a
their
little
sticks
bit.
haven't been hitting yet.
Yep.
You're going to get Donaldson and Batista and
Yeah.
Encarnacion. They got some guys that can hit.
Yeah. So Yankees are kind of they looked like they were making a move, and then they had a bad loss the other night. So.
Sabathia's pitched well the last 2 or
Yeah.
3 games they put him in there. I know he took a stint on the disabled list, but
Yeah.
he had a tough luck loss the other night. But 7 innings, 2 runs,
Right.
7 strikeouts. That's pretty.
You
That's
gotta
pretty
stay-
good stuff from him.
Try to stay within Boston and Baltimore striking range there.
I
and
don't think they can, but you're right. They're trying.
It's June. Hey, listen, it's June.
That's right. It's
Happy
June.
by the way.
Thoughts
And,
turn to baseball.
And another month, in another month from now, we'll see where these teams are at. Little over a month. Then
They're-
we'll see whether we can buy or sell.
They're at the third, 54 games. I think they've all played about 50, and 54 is 1/3 of the way through. So,
Right.
yeah, they should have a pretty good feel
Sure.
within the next week or two of what's
Now-
going on.
Now over in the Central, the world champion Royals are making a move. They're
You
starting
knew
to
that.
play
You
better.
knew that was going to happen. You know,
I thought
they,
so.
Yeah.
They started off real slow.
They started off
sluggish.
slow, but
White
they
Sox were going crazy. Along with the Cubs in Chicago.
all flipped.
And
yeah.
their White Sox they won today.
Yeah, but they're
going into today they were 2-8.
at 5-15, I think, in their last 20
Yeah.
games. Not
so
good.
They're starting to fall a little bit.
That's right.
And they were a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, they were.
you
They
know.
had some good pitchers, but they're still. I'm still not convinced they have a solid team.
Royals, pretty much. They still had, even though they lost a couple players, they lost Zobrist to the Cubs.
They lost Zobrist, but
Yeah.
they're stocked with some pretty good talent.
Sure, they still got a good player,
Yeah.
good backup players to fill in.
Absolutely.
Cleveland's hanging in there. They're second place, 26 and 24. And pretty much everybody else, the Tigers and Minnesota, they're in trouble.
I don't know
They're
what's
in
up,
major
what's
trouble.
up with the Tigers. I thought the Tigers were primed to at least compete this year.
Well, they're only 4 games back.
Oh, well, okay. I
they've
was
won-
thinking they were worse
No,
than
they're
that.
they're hanging in there. They're
All right.
definitely they've got a good hitting team, and
Okay.
they're hanging in there. Out west, the Rangers have really they're one of the best hitting teams in the
Rangers
league.
have some sticks. They
They
really,
got some
really
sticks,
can hit.
and
You're right.
and they're starting to hit the ball, and they've won 8 out of the last 10, and so they're looking good.
If that
Seattle's
Dar-
fallen a little bit,
if
just
that-
a little bit.
But getting back just quickly, the Rangers, they got that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. Is it you, Darvish or Dervish? They got that good young pitcher back. He was out
Right.
for like a year with
Yeah,
the Tommy John or what.
Right.
He looks like he pitched against
Well,
Pittsburgh and shut him right down.
Right.
He looks like
he's had his old form back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So that's
gonna help
definitely
them
give them a shot in the
immensely.
arm
Yeah,
for sure, along with that
definitely.
hitting that they're doing. So
That's
that
right.
could be a very good reason why they're moving up
Sure.
the thing there. Now over in the National League, Mets just lost again to this afternoon. Just
I
saw
wouldn't
that
obsess over the Mets. It's tough to get more than 2 runs a game against them. I know
Well-
their pitching is.
Well, they're
Harvey pitched great. If Harvey gets himself
Yeah.
straightened out, like it looks like he has,
Well,
that's going to be a really
sure.
tough team to score runs against.
He pitched a nice game the other day. First game he's pitched well in a long time. He
But-
had 7 innings, no runs, he struck out 6 or 7 or something like that. It looked like his old self, and they found a flaw in his delivery, and so which was better to find that than have a physical problem.
I think they fixed it.
Yeah.
7
So-
innings, no hits, or
But
2
like
hits
since
and
then,
no runs.
like today, they had one of DeGrom pitched a great game, 7 innings. They wind up losing. They're only scoring 1 or 2 runs a game. They've got Dude on the DL. They got Wright on the DL, and I don't think they use Conforto right. They don't play him every day. They play him like 3 out of 4 games or whatever. And
Call
they
up
don't play
Terry
him enough.
Collins. Say, hey, Terry, I
He's
know
one of
you,
the best 3 hitters
and-
potentially in major leagues. They hardly play him.
you and Terry are tight. Call up Terry. Say, Terry, come on.
But
I
you know,
agree with you. I agree with you, by the way.
In the American National League, the best pitching staffs, are the Cubs. Arrieta, by the way, just lost for the first time. Was it since last July? Was it? Something
Yeah,
like that?
but to clarify it, he pitched 7 shutout innings and struck out 9 guys and gave up 3 hits.
Right.
And the team lost, I think, 1 or 2 nothing or whatever
Right.
it was.
Well, they lost 5-0.
5
but
nothing because the Dodgers.
The Dodgers figured out that if they can get a one hitter, they can beat Arrieta.
They can beat Arrieta if
It takes
you
a one hitter to
one
beat him.
hitter and then get to the bullpen for the Cubs.
That's right. And they had 2 relievers. Scott Kazmir pitched quite a game for the Dodgers the other day.
It's been a while. Good for him, but it's been
yeah,
a while. I
it's
think
been
they
a
were
while.
expecting a little more out of him.
Remember a few years ago, he was one of the best
Oh, he's
young players
good,
coming up.
Good lefty.
Came in for from
Very,
the Mets
very
to
good.
Tampa Bay, and then
Absolutely.
blah blah blah. Anyway, so the Cubs are still cruising along at 35 and 15.
They're the team right now.
You know,
I don't see anybody.
I mean, their pitching staff with Arrieta and Hamill and Lackey and Lester, there's probably the top 4 starters, and
pretty
you know.
pretty impressive lineup.
the Mets could get there, but they haven't quite gotten there because they've had injuries and the problem with Harvey. We'll see how the season progresses, but right now, the Cubs' top 4 are the best in the league.
Well, right now they look like the best teams in their respective divisions, and I think the pitchers, if they stay healthy, I think they're only going to broaden their leads over the Pirates, the Nationals. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see all of a sudden the pitchers, losing their stuff.
Well, with those 4 starters, and they have a pretty good hitting team too. It looks that's why they're 6.5 over Pittsburgh, as we speak. Probably the next best staff in the National League is the Giants.
I agree.
With Cuerdo coming over, he's 8-1 now. 8-1.
Good pitcher.
I didn't think he'd be that good this quick.
Johnny Cueto's he's a bulldog too. I mean, he'll compete. He'll compete his brains out.
And then they got Madison Bumgarner, who's 6-2, and then they got Jeff. I can never say the guy's name. Samardzija.
He was
He's
a
7-2.
a wide receiver for Michigan. That's the only reason I know that's how you pronounce
you
his
go.
name.
Well, anyway, so that's a pretty good stats. A 7-game winner, an 8-game winner, and a 6-game winner. That's not bad on the Giants right now.
Baumgartner already has
absolutely.
4 home runs.
Yep.
4 home runs. So he's going to get a few trips to the to pinch hit. I mean that's not.
So you look at these staffs. You got the Cubs number 1, Giants number 2, and then it's a fight between the Mets and the Nationals for the next 2 staffs, because the Mets got, of course, Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Matt, who's 7-2 now, but also the Washington, who's got Strasburg and
Strasburg.
and
They got
Scherzer.
Strasburg, Rourke. Not bad, but I just
Not
don't think.
enough.
I don't think they put a good enough team out in the field. That's
Not
me.
when you got the Cubs that got 4 good starters.
That's
like
what I
that.
mean.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's a tough team.
That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
But still, I mean, what a pleasant problem to have them to have. But
Now, did you see over the weekend the Mets game? They were playing the Dodgers, and Noah. Now, you remember last year in the World Series, first pitch, Syndergaard throws it
they were behind?
and hits one of the batters.
Yeah.
Right? And he got warned and everything, and it was a big to-do. They said they'd get back at him during the season. Well, Syndergaard threw at a player because of what happened at second base.
Okay.
With Ruben Tejada, with Chase Utley.
I remember that.
Remember that play
Sure.
in the World Series in the National League Championship Series, and he took him out and broke his leg. Well, the Mets were going to get him back at some point. Well,
tell you what, this is when
you want to get into this.
You like these cliffhangers? No,
We gotta get into this.
We are going to wrap up the first half of Shots on the Bench, and we're going to come back
That's
with
right.
the cliffhanger. We're going to find out exactly what happened.
I want to find out.
And
what's
so
going on.
we'll be back with the third quarter of Shots from the Bench right after this.
He's turning purple.
We are back with the third quarter of Shots from the Bench here from Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they have the tastiest sports in town. Now, when we come back for the second half, usually Greg gives us a tongue lashing, and usually what Bob and I do is ignore him, and I think we're going to do it again today, Bob. I'm not going to pay much attention to what Greg had to say.
No.
But I'll tell you what, we got a cliffhanger going. I want to hear a little bit more about the Syndergaard and
Absolutely.
what transpired.
Well, in the Mets-Dodgers series this past weekend,
Yeah.
okay, going back to the National League Championship Series, the
The famous Chase Utley.
Chase Utley slid out of the box into Ruben Tejada,
Yeah.
took him out, broke his leg. It was a big to-do over that, as everyone knew, and it was really, he should have been suspended, which he never was.
No, he wasn't.
Okay,
You're right.
so the Mets were saying, well, we're going to get him back. We're going to get him back for that at some point. So the point was this past weekend, and it wasn't done very well. To be honest with you. It was pretty bad. So Noah Syndergaard, the big 6'6" pitcher for the Mets, throws to Chase Utley up at bat, and throws 4 feet behind him.
4 feet behind.
4
him.
feet behind him.
I'm gonna kill the bat
nowhere
boy.
close. Nowhere close to the guy. At least hit the guy. If you're
Yeah.
gonna-
Well,
or
no,
s-
but
knock him down or something. The whole point of the thing. And protocol in a situation like that for an umpire, it's protocol to warn both benches.
right.
It's not to go. He was thrown out.
Well, that
He was
yeah.
thrown right out of the game.
Greg just said that off camera. And I went,
What?
well, I didn't realize that. But he was saying that's a rookie ump or an ump that they
Well,
brought up.
apparently a rookie was. The umpires had a meeting before the game, and they were told that this could happen.
Sure.
Okay, which is fine, and what to do, and if it happens, you warn both benches, and that's it. That would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's like in the second inning or something, like second or third inning, and they brought a rookie umpire who's playing behind the plate,
Home plate.
Home
They
plate
bring him up,
umpire.
he draws home
and
plate.
he throws him out, and it turns out after the game, this umpire was sent back to the minors. But that really cost the Mets that game because Syndergaard, the way he had been pitching, so dominant, people could hardly score on him. They wound up losing that game 9-1, by the way.
Well, two things I got to say about first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Syndergaard. I think if you're going to send a message, that's the best way to do it. He's throwing 4 feet intentionally behind the guy isn't hurting anybody, but it's letting the guy know that you got your
Right.
eye on him.
Sure.
And I think that's the best way to
Sure.
try to resolve problems like that. I mean, if he stands there and puts the ball in between the guy's shoulder blades,
Yeah.
he's going to get taken out. But I love the fact that he's just letting them know that
Right.
we remember what you did.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot more where that came from. And secondly, and now with the rookie ump, where's the other umps coming up, waving and saying, wait a minute.
Yeah, why?
Why can't they
the
can't
guy.
overrule them? Why,
I saw it. I actually saw it live.
yeah?
He came walking up, and you're out of here. You're
Oh,
out of here.
well, those
Just like
guys-
that. I mean, it
those
happens
guys
so
shoulda-
fast.
Those guys should have said,
I mean,
excuse
have you ever
me.
seen anybody? Have you ever seen anybody thrown out of the game? The other umpires come together and say, "Wait a minute, time out."
It would have
We're
made
not gonna do
sense. Well, I've seen umps change their decisions
Yeah.
on things,
Oh,
but
sure.
I just would have liked to have seen them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was just too quick, too
'Cause
fast.
Now I feel bad because Syndergaard, knowing that, he should have drilled him.
And
He should have
he's
thrown
not.
it.
He's the type of kid that would throw it 4 feet
Sure.
behind somebody.
Sure.
Anyway, so I had to get it off my chest because I thought that was a bad situation. But ironically, he's back in the minors again. This umpire.
Yeah, well,
So anyway.
I hope he enjoyed his cup of coffee in the major
Yeah.
leagues.
Well, he'll learn from his mistakes, hopefully. But
Yeah.
what else we got?
Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit about we're staying on baseball.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you: is it too soon
Mm-hmm.
for these teams like Atlanta, Cincinnati,
Minnesota.
Is it too late is it too early to fire sale your guys?
No.
I mean, they can go right to a lot of these the big contending teams and
Yeah.
everything. You know who they are. We just
Sure.
talked about them. But they've all got needs, especially the Mets now have some injuries. They got to play some guys in the infield that maybe if Wright goes on the DL again, they've got they've got the holes, so they can't afford to go on a nosedive. So
well, the
maybe
Braves
it's
are
time to make some
15,
deal.
16 games
Well,
out
that's
of first place.
I would think that they're out. I would say
15, 16 games
Yeah.
with no hope, with no answer to get up the standing. So, I mean,
So what
is
you're
that,
saying, it's not too soon.
I don't know whether it's, I don't know about.
What about the fans?
Is that the manager's fault? I mean,
Oh,
they
no.
don't have the talent.
No. Well,
I mean, why don't we always say, why is it always the manager's fault or the coach or whatever? Why is it always the coach's fault? Because you know what? Some teams just aren't as talented as other teams.
Well,
They're just not talented.
And these teams, like I said,
I
Cincinnati.
mean, we can sit here and look at this team against that team, and you can see who has the talent and who doesn't have the
I'll
talent.
take Kansas City over Minnesota anytime. Yeah,
Now they've won 15 games. Now maybe they should have won 17 games.
Or maybe they should have won 12, and the manager got them 3 wins.
Right.
You don't know, but
Sure.
But no, I guess what I'm saying is I think you agree with me.
Yeah.
I don't think for these teams it's too soon. If you've got a couple talented guys, it's not. You're still 2 or 3 years away. I mean, why not try to get some prospects? If these teams, these good teams, have some good young talent in their systems.
Well, this is what usually happens.
Go get it.
This is what usually happens. It's June now. These teams like Atlanta and Cincinnati and we mentioned Minnesota.
Yeah, those are the
who
three.
aren't,
Those are the 3 teams that are still
those are
not
the
to
worst
20.
ones.
Not to
Sure.
20. No 20 wins there.
No.
They're all mid-teens.
When you get to the trading deadline in July, these are the teams teams are looking. Is there anybody on those teams that we can pick up to make our team better?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they get more prospects to make their team better.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
I would think these guys would want to move as fast as they can. I know that's not fair to their fans, I guess, although I would think the fans don't think they're doing anything anyhow. So I would if I was Cincinnati, Minnesota, or Atlanta, I'd say, get us as many prospects. Give them Freeman, give them Upton, give them whoever you've got. Give them Mauer, give them somebody. But if you wait till the deadline, then you're going to have 15 other people feeding in. It might be better for the teams waiting, but I don't think the Mets, if they're going to lose Wright, I don't think they want to wait 15 days to get a good stick in their lineup. If there's somebody that's available and they can trade a minor leaguer or a couple minor leaguers and get them, because the Mets got to think that this is their year. This is a real good
they
chance
have
for
to,
them.
and they're not tearing it up really. They've had some slow. They've had some slow go. They started off 2-6.
They started off
and
poorly.
then
They got the best record
went,
probably in the league.
Then they
since
played really, really well. Now they're starting to kind of flutter a little bit
They lost
again.
a 2-1 game. They're fine. Their pitchers are unbelievable.
Right.
So, but that's just the way. I wanted to ask you if you obviously you agree with me on, and like I said, just talking about coming back to earth. The teams that were surprising me, Philadelphia, unfortunately, because I was kind of rooting for them, but they look like they're coming back to earth. The White Sox, I think, have also decided to take a step back, but also going up the ladder, you got KC, like we talked about, the Bo Sox, and the Giants. The Giants have. I wondered when they were going to step on the gas, but they're starting to separate themselves. They look like
we picked them as the
absolutely.
as the winner of that division for sure.
Yeah.
We picked the Cubs for sure. We picked pretty much the teams in
the teams that are winning
that we picked.
Yeah, I
are
agree.
in the spots we thought they'd be at.
must really know what we're talking about.
Except for there's a couple of exceptions, though. There's a couple of
maybe
exceptions.
1 or 2 or 5.
Well, Houston has started playing a little better baseball.
Yeah, they're playing
lately.
a little better, but
still not where we thought they'd be.
No, they're not.
Seattle's
even
kind
close.
of in their spot right now.
Their pitching just isn't getting it done.
But they're making some signs, having some signs. That's about the only. And Toronto and Houston are the only ones that are kind of like fluttering a little bit. But it's early still, and they can still have time. Look at the Mets last year. Were like a 500 team at the All-Star break, and they picked up some players, some utility, Uribe and Kelly Johnson and some other players, and of course Cespedes, and they wound up getting to the World Series.
You just keyed up another question. You mentioned the All-Star game. Or the All-Stars. And what do you think? It looks to me Kansas City's got 8 out of the 9 starting players if the All-Star game is tomorrow. David Ortiz is the only guy that's not a Royal. And this goes back to the age-old question again about, is fan voting really the way to go? I mean, you want to be I mean, obviously,
Do you want to break tradition?
Well, that's right. I just
I thought you were a traditionalist.
I never liked the traditional letting the fans vote because of this very. I thought if they're big markets, I'm surprised Kansas City is one of the smallest markets, and there's stuff on the ballot box. So you're going to get guys that you never heard of starting. And
well, it's always been that way. Like I mentioned, it's always been that way, and usually they come up with some pretty good teams. I mean, usually the guys with the best players. You're going to have. In the past, you've got players who were sentimental choices, like maybe Derek Jeter, who wasn't having a good year. But of course, how are you not going to put a Hall of Famer like that into the All-Star game? So the fans voted him in. I have no problem with the fans. It should be I don't know. To me, the fans should be their game.
It's the whole team. all two of it.
Oh, you mean the Kansas City?
Yeah, that's their whole team.
They know how to stuff the battle box over there. I'll tell you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know what? And I think they're going to get away with it this year. I think they did it last year too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen now is pretty soon people are going to start resenting the people that make the All-Star team, and I don't want that to be the case. I just think the cooler heads should prevail. Go back to either letting the players pick or do a combination thing.
Yeah.
Let the fans pick the reserves, but I mean that way they're picking other players. But I just feel really bad because there's some really talented guys that are having good years that aren't probably going to get to start in the All-Star game. Not that it's the end of the world for them, but I just wish they'd take a different approach.
So with the fans, it's more of a popularity contest. Is that what you're saying?
Well, or a stuff the ballot box.
Right,
you're
stuff the ballot box. Hey, I don't know if we have any time on this segment. On the next segment, talking about All-Star games, I would like to talk a little bit about what's going to go on in Orlando next year.
Cliffhanger, and it worked last time.
We're
doing another cliffhanger. So we'll be back with the cliffhanging fourth quarter of Shots from the Bench right after this. Stay tuned.
And it's not a soccer game I'm talking about?
That's not the soccer game.
I know Greg likes soccer. No?
He's not going to let you stop.
We are happy we are here.
We are back with the fourth quarter of Shots from the Bench here at Gator's Dockside in Brownwood. And we have another cliffhanger. Ooh. So, Bob, set us up where we left off and where we're going.
Well, Orlando has just won the rights to the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl,
right? Aren't you excited about that?
I think that
you're falling off your chair, aren't you?
I think they're going to be real surprised with what it does.
All day I've been listening to sports talk radio in Orlando.
Okay.
And they're all excited.
They're thrilled about it.
They're all excited about the Pro Bowl. I can understand. They have the Magic. They have Orlando City Soccer. And they've got some things going.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I agree.
You want to have more sports teams in this area. But I'll tell you, the Pro Bowl has become a joke.
I couldn't agree with you more.
The Pro Bowl is going to Orlando, but it's become a joke. Maybe, who knows? Maybe this will help it not be a joke. Because when it was in Hawaii, no one wanted to go. No one wants to play it because they don't want to get hurt. So have you watched the Pro Bowl this past year or
horrible.
two?
Every All-Star game.
There's hardly any blocking.
Oh, it's
There's
awful.
hardly any tackling.
Awful.
It's like flag football.
That's right.
When you watch the game. And it's no longer the NFC against the AFC, because I'm an NFC guy. I'm a Viking fan,
sure.
Okay? You may be, what are you, Pittsburgh Steelers?
Pittsburgh, that's right.
Steelers?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
So you're an AFC guy, okay? All right, so the AFC against the NFC. We used to be excited about that growing up. And it was in Hawaii. That was cool. And everybody played it. That was legit. But now players don't want to play it. They don't want to get hurt. So now the second team player, they don't want to play either.
Whoever wants to go. That's
now it's like fill-in players, just filling in.
The starting quarterbacks are Colin Kaepernick and who's the guy from Texas, Schaub. Guys. I think, come on.
So it's no longer the All-Stars. It's just players that fill in.
It's just
and because no one wants to play it, and when they do play it, you're watching this game. It's like it's not even a game.
No,
It's flag football. There's no one really hitting anybody. There's no tackling. It's not even a game.
if they
So
can market it good for them, it's going to
here's
be
what
tough.
I think. If it stays the way it stays now, even though Orlando won the game, and not only that, it's Michael Irvin's team against someone else's team.
Yeah,
you
somebody
know,
else,
Chris
yeah.
Carter's team
Yeah,
or something.
right, yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't wait for Chris Carter's
Chris
team
Carter,
to win.
yeah.
Right? Don't you?
He instills a lot of drive in his
I mean,
team.
so this game, I can't see it surviving.
No.
I mean, just because it has a new venue. Now, maybe the new venue will be so some of these all-stars will want to come to Orlando instead of going all the way out, not driving, of course, but flying all the way out to Hawaii.
Why? Well,
And,
what's going to attract them is this. You got to give them a little bit of cash. I know they got a pretty good stipend to go out there, but I think
mean,
a lot of people like going to Florida, going to Hawaii, and now
Sure.
Orlando. They can.
Maybe the kids, the players' kids will say, "Daddy, we want to go to Disney World,
That's right.
and we want to go play to Universal, and we want to go to the theme park." So
Sure.
maybe that's why they'll go play. But still, they don't hit each other. They don't play.
No.
Maybe they should have a different type of format. Look at the NHL, how that's become a shell of the team. What are they, 5-on-5 now?
It's awful.
Is it 5-on-5?
It's throw. They play. I think did they play 5-on-5?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah,
that's- but they're still not hitting. It's still
but
like
at least
18
they-
to 17.
Yeah, at least they kept it. Players from this division against players
Yeah,
from that division,
yeah.
and it's kind of halfway interesting. And it makes they did make it. I thought I had my doubts about the format of the NHL,
Yeah.
but it actually worked out pretty good.
Well,
I was kind of surprised at how. I said,
let's
"That's not gonna
put
work."
this way: it worked out better than watching the Pro Bowl football.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So they're all excited on the talk radio in Orlando. Like this is the next greatest thing to
And
the
that's-
Magic
that's
coming
fine.
to Orlando.
That's fine. They're putting up the money, and
You know,
maybe.
but
for
hey,
the
I hope it
first
works
year-
out.
Yeah, me too. I really do.
Because I like to go to something good around here, but I don't want to go to a Pro Bowl that's got backup after backup after backup players in it who won't even play football when
that's-
you watch them play.
And the quarterbacks are either just about ready to
You know.
retire, or like they're Kaepernick, those guys that their careers are kind of fading away, so they're trying to get back in the limelight. We'll see what happens. But
Hey, now, I'm not trying to pick a fight with these guys in Orlando, the sports talk shows, but I'm going to start right now. I'm going to say
I
something
like
else right now.
I'm out.
They're always talking about the Magic, how they want to get this player or this player or this player. And you look at that team, they've got some players that can score, but what they don't have is players that can defend. They don't have anybody on that team that defends.
But they're-
Vukovic doesn't defend.
No, he doesn't.
Their Peyton, their guard doesn't defend. Nobody defends. They bring players. This guy can score. This guy can shoot the three. This guy can do this and rebound and all. Okay, you can rebound. But where's the defensive players? Scott Skiles didn't want Peyton as he got out of town.
Yeah.
He says, I'm done.
I think he
I want you need some defensive guys that can shoot and score and defend. That's the only way you're going to win in this league.
I think they got a good defensive-minded coach. We'll see what
They got
happens. I think they
Vogel
did.
was the great
Yeah,
pick for them.
Great pick. I agree.
Because
But
you
they're
know,
not
he
going to go
is.
anywhere until they start playing a little better defense.
He's
There's
the
no
one
question.
he's the guy that get that team to play good defense. And that's another thing. If you're not a good defensive team, there's only so far you can get them to play good defense.
That's right.
But if you're just because you can make a bad defender better, but you can't make a bad defender a good defender. A
No
great
question
defender.
about it. No question about it.
So anyway, I gotta get that off my chest.
I like it. I think that's great.
So we didn't talk any NHL yet.
We haven't talked any
Tonight's a big
NHL.
game, you know.
Tonight's the second game, the
Second
best of
game.
7 in Pittsburgh, and it's Pittsburgh hosting San Jose. And I think
Pittsburgh's
this
up 1-0.
Pittsburgh's up 1-0. This
Yep.
game has 7 games written all over it because they're about as evenly matched as you're going to get. But I think.
Do you think this series is going to go 7?
Yeah,
Really?
I think San Jose has too many great veteran players like Thornton and Marlowe and Pavelski. It's going to be. I think it's going to be 7, and of course it's anybody's. And home ice doesn't really matter a whole lot in hockey.
But I got to
that's-
hold you to a pick though. Who are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the Penguins, not because
Okay.
I'm from Pittsburgh, because I don't want to jinx them. But
Well, I'll tell you why I'd pick the Penguins.
Okay, let's hear it.
One guy, Sidney Crosby.
That's a good.
He's the leader. I mean, he does everything for that team. He's the leader in puck possession, which is one of the biggest things. He holds that puck longer than anyone else, and that's a big thing. So what he does with it is also important. He finds other players, he scores, finds other players. He's always moving, getting other players involved. He's like the point guard, the best point guard in the National Hockey League of hockey.
I agree with everything you've said.
Speed, passing. He's got it all.
But on the other side, Joe Thornton's been playing for 18 years. Joe Thornton might be the best passing big man, and he's got the longest beard I've ever seen in a hockey play. The guy's he's gonna trip over it.
It's also easy to pick a team that's already up 1-0. You know, so it's
that's right. I'm going that way too. But I'll tell you. So that, and like I said, it's only the second game, so we'll get a chance to talk about that. And let's talk about Jordan Spieth.
Yep.
Everybody wondered what was going on with Jordan Spieth.
What's
wrong with his
meltdown?
game? Get rid of his caddy, get rid of his swing, get him he really had problems last week, didn't he? Holy mackerel!
Well, that was his third start since his Masters fiasco.
Lapped the field.
Where he fell apart there a little bit. But, he played unbelievable at the Dean and DeLuca in his home state of Texas. Which used to be called the what did that used to be called? That was called the.
It wasn't the Byron. It was the Colonial.
Colonial.
Yeah, Colonial.
Colonial. That's right. I hate it when like this week's the Memorial.
Yeah.
And we think, the Memorial. And when they say the Colonial, we think of the Colonial.
Yeah.
But we don't ever think of the Dean and DeLuca. Are you going to the Dean and DeLuca this year?
Dean and DeLuca. I don't even know what I didn't even know.
I hope they don't ever do that for Wimbledon, like the maybe the Ford or the Chevy Wimbledon Championships or something. I don't know.
That's right.
I wouldn't like that too much.
Anyway. What's it? Yeah.
So Jordan coming back, having a nice win. He's the number 2 player in the world, right there. And, we got another major coming up in another couple of weeks.
Another couple of weeks up in Oakmont, and they're trying to. I heard they're trying to bake the greens out, make them fast.
Yeah.
Just make it fair, guys. Don't mess that course up.
Hey, it's not by coincidence. 2-3 weeks before the U.S. Open, that at the Memorial all the top players are playing. You got Jason Day and Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth.
Well, they should play it. First of all, it's a great warm-up for Oakmont because it's a great test of golf. The climate's going to be about the same. Yeah. You're 3 hours away from Oakmont, so you can go down there and practice a little bit. I mean, they're probably shuttling back, playing practice rounds in both places.
And this is Jack's tournament, just like Bay Hill is Arnie's tournament.
This is Jack's tournament.
So it's always fun to see him pop out, walk around and meet everybody and get involved in some of the preliminary festivities there. Fowler, Johnson, and Watson are going to be there too. So it's all the best players are going to be there in Muirfield Village, and they say it's one of the most beautiful courses in the country.
Well, I'll tell you what, and while we're talking golf, let's talk a little bit about the Olympics. Mm-hmm. With the Zika virus being what it is, a lot of these top-name guys are having second thoughts about maybe going and representing their country. And you know what? I can't say I blame them. I mean, I guess having a gold medal on your resume would be nice, but the fact is, I don't think you want to ruin your career by going down and getting bit by a mosquito.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty about that virus. Usually they've been saying it's a female problem with having children.
Oh, you're right.
And matter of fact, my daughter-in-law is leaving in a week or two to go to the jungles of Brazil.
Oh, wow.
On a filming expedition down there. So we'll be praying for her down there that she doesn't get in trouble down there.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so. But yeah, a lot of female athletes, golfers, tennis players, are deciding maybe going to Rio is not the greatest thing for them to do because they're still, you never know. You could get pregnant.
Well,
they say 6 months after, up to 6 months after.
Is that the period?
Yeah. You should wait.
In my way of thinking, and like I said,
I don't know about the guys.
I didn't mean to be like a doomsday or anything. I just seems to me, if you can stay here in this country, make your money, and play your tournaments, I think you're probably ahead of the game or better off. I don't know, that seems that way to you. But I'll tell you what, the clock on the wall tells us we've just about run out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go home, do our homework, and we come back next week, and it'll be on a Tuesday night. So 6 days from tonight, we will be back here at Gators Dockside with another scintillating edition.
It's scintillating.
Thank you so much. Scintillating edition of Shots from the Bench. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Amen. Well, thank you very much. In my country, we like that very much.
That's right. Now he's doing David Fairney. Get on there and do it. Come on, cut in, edit it in.
I can't wait for the British Open, you know, in my country and over in Scotland.
It does
Ireland.
have it. It's only a 20-footer, you know.
It's only Jason Day.
It's not
He's
like
number one.
It's not like he's putting it over the